guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm doing a little bit of a different video. I've been wanting to incorporate some faith-related videos into my channel, and God was pressing on my heart to make this video, and I am not an expert on it in no means at all, but I hope I can help a few of you lovely ladies out if you're looking to get married. I am not married yet. I will be in 2 weeks, which is super exciting. Me and Carl are just over the moon, and we're so excited. So today I'm doing a video on how me and Carl got ready for marriage and why I think I am ready for marriage at such a young age. I'm only 20 years old, but I feel like because of the research that I've done, the mentors that I've spoken to, the videos that I've watched, the books that I've read, I do have some pretty good practical tips for you guys if you are looking to get married and you're wanting to be the best Christian wife possible. Even if you aren't Christian, this video still can apply to you in some ways. So anyways, I'm gonna get straight into it because I know this is gonna be a really long video, but I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get straight into it. So one big thing for me and for Carl as well is for both of us to be completely and utterly devoted to God and not be having to carry each other's faith. So I personally wouldn't be with Carl if his faith was wavering or was all over the place, or 1 week was, you know, out clubbing, and then the next week, oh, my camera's going in and out of focus, and then the next week was wanting to do Bible studies and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. That isn't really going to be fixed in a marriage. By getting married, it's not really going to fix anything. Those problems are going to continue. So one really important thing is to make sure that both of you guys have a strong relationship with God that doesn't change with certain situations that are going on in life. I think it's really important to just be completely devoted to God in every aspect and every area of your life, and for your partner to be that also. So in 2 Corinthians 16:14, I think. Wait, hang on, let me check. 2 Corinthians 6:14 talks about not being unequally yoked, and that just means having the same faith, same belief, both being completely devoted to God in the same way, not having different beliefs or different faiths or whatever that means to you. So yeah, just being on the same page with your partner when it comes to your relationship with God, that is super important, and it will save you guys a lot of stress and hassle in the long run. The second one is understanding love and what that actually means. In today's society, love has been tampered with. The word love has been tampered with so much, and most of us don't actually know what love means, especially from a biblical view. So one thing that I love to live by is 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. I'm just going to read it in the TPT version because I love the TPT. But it says, "Love is large and incredibly patient. Love is gentle and consistently kind to all. It refuses to be jealous when blessing comes to someone else. Love does not brag about one's achievements nor inflate its own importance. Love does not traffic in shame and disrespect, nor selfishly seek its own honor. Love is not easily irritated or quick to take offense. Love joyfully celebrates honesty and finds no delight in what is wrong. Love is a safe place of shelter, for it never stops believing the best for others. Love never takes failure as defeat, for it never gives up." And I remember seeing, I think it was on Facebook or Pinterest or something, like years ago, you know that you are in love with the right person if 1 Corinthians 13:4-7 applies to your partner. So it says to replace the word love with your partner's name, and if everything adds up, then they are the right one. And literally every single person that I've been with besides Carl has not lived up to that. That is a major red flag, and you'll see in a second. I'll just change to the NLT because it's shorter. So changing the word love to Carl's name will sound like this. So Carl is patient and kind. Carl is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Carl does not demand his own way. He is not irritable and keeps no record of being wronged. He does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Carl never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. these qualities to have in a partner, especially if you're Christian, even if you're not Christian. I feel like this could apply to anyone. It's super helpful. This has helped me in every single relationship that I've been in. And now that I'm with Carl and he is all of those things, I know that he is a very godly man. Not just by that, by the way he lives his life. But yeah, just a little tip for you guys. One thing that me and Carl have really loved is premarital counseling. And it's not that we have major issues or anything like that. We just want to be ready for marriage as best we can. And premarital counseling definitely does help. So we have been going to a few different people, a few different pastors and counselors and things like that to get ready for marriage. And they give you some pretty good tips. I'm not going to really get into premarital counseling that much, but just know that if you're looking to get married, premarital counseling is a huge help just to prepare yourself and prepare your partner for what marriage looks like and how to be married in a good and godly way. Another one is books, and I struggle with reading like so bad. I hate reading, but Carl has taught me to read, not taught me to read, Carl has encouraged me to read some books on marriage, and it honestly has helped quite a lot. Even just articles online and things like that of how to be a good wife, or how to have a good Christian marriage, or how to deal with conflict resolution, things like that. Like literally you can learn so much from books. One that I really recommend is Love and Respect by, I don't exactly remember who it's by, but I will link that book below. That book has really helped, so I definitely recommend reading that. But yeah, another one is being willing to sacrifice, and this is something that I had to learn because I was quite an independent woman. And not that being independent is a bad thing. You do need to be independent in certain ways, but I was not willing to compromise or sacrifice anything for Carl at the start. And to be in a marriage, it's two people coming together as one. You're not two separate, different people with different lives and different beliefs and different things that you do. Marriage is coming together as one in a covenant with God, and sometimes you have to sacrifice some stuff that really you don't want to sacrifice. Whereas for me, it was just letting Carl lead, especially in our finances. That's something that I have handed over to him and completely sacrificed. So now I don't go out and buy all these things that I used to buy, because if I did, then it would affect our finances quite a bit. So that is something that I have sacrificed myself and given over to him. Just little things, like especially with moving in together, there is going to be ways that you want the house, there's going to be ways that he wants the house, and sometimes compromise is a massive thing, and sacrificing what you want to come to a mutual agreement in love. And sometimes that's really hard. It's really hard to sacrifice the things that you want sometimes, but you need to remember it's not just you in the relationship, it's both of you guys coming together as one, and that is super important. So yes, be willing to sacrifice. Another major one, just like I mentioned before, is finances. And you need to remember that when you come under a covenant of marriage, your money isn't your money anymore, and his money isn't his money anymore. Both of your separate incomes come together and become one. And this is super important, because I know a lot of married couples still that have been married for 20 years that they still have separate incomes and they have to ask each other for money, and they have major fights about money. But when you put your money together and set a budget and everything like that, like, it honestly has become so much easier. And even though me and Carl aren't married, we've already done that. Both of our monies, I don't know how to even word this. Both of our separate incomes come in together into one bank account, and we pay all of our bills, we get stuff for the house, for the baby, blah blah. And honestly, it has saved us so much stress. So much stress, because I feel like if I had my own bank account and Carl had his own bank account, that we would be fighting so much over finances. And especially putting a budget in place together has really helped as well. Another thing is not coming into your marriage with any major debts. And as I said before, both of your separate incomes will come together as one if that's what you decide to do, and you don't want to be putting that baggage of debt onto your partner, because now your debt is his debt as well, and if he has any debt, then his debt is your debt, and that just causes so much extra stress in your relationship. And I used to have a lot of debt, and I've completely paid that off, and that is not something that I would want to bring into my marriage and have to put that onto Carl, and then he has to stress about paying off my debt and working extra hours or whatever it is, when that money could be going to something more useful in our lives. And also unhealthy financial habits. So as I was talking about before, I had to give up buying clothes every single week because I know that is a very unhealthy financial habit to be in, even if that is going and getting coffees every morning or going and buying lunch every day. When you come into a marriage, you're gonna have bills, you're gonna have like petrol to pay for, say Netflix, Spotify, internet, Wi-Fi, phone bills, etc. And when you're using that money for unnecessary things like that, that can cause a lot of stress on your partner, especially if they're the main source of income. So Carl's job at the moment is our main source of income, and if I was going out and spending our money now on things that were unnecessary, and then he has to stress about about paying our phone bill, I don't think that's very fair on your partner at all. So just making sure that you're coming into your marriage with all of those unhealthy habits dealt with, so that way you guys can have a happier and healthy marriage. This one is kind of a tough one, and a tough one to talk about as well, but you need to remember, boys and girls, that marriage will not fix your unhealthy habits. And I mean unhealthy habits as in masturbation, pornography, etc., those types of things. Signing a piece of paper does not fix those types of things. You're still going to have those temptations every single day, and it's honestly, those are things that destroy marriages, like completely destroy marriages. People get divorced over these things. So you need to remember that marriage isn't going to fix your unhealthy habits. All of a sudden, when you're married, you're not going to be like, oh, well, I don't feel like masturbating anymore, or I don't feel like watching pornography anymore because I've got my husband or my wife or whatever. Those things still linger, and signing a piece of paper and getting married does not fix these things. So this is something that you definitely need to work on before you come into a covenant of marriage, especially in the eyes of God. So I think it is super important to get help in any way that you can. Speak to your mentors, speak to your leaders, go see a counselor, like whatever it takes. If you're wanting to get married, these are things that you definitely have to deal with, because I'm sure that your partner would not be happy with you continuing to do these things coming into marriage. Don't go into marriage with unhealthy habits like this, because signing a piece of paper does not fix it. So yeah, anyways, moving on to the next one, and this is the last one, and this is something that is so hard to talk about, especially when you're talking to non-Christians, and that is submitting to your partner or submitting to your husband. And it talks a lot in the Bible about submitting to your partner, respecting your husband just as he should love you. And this is something that I struggle to understand, because when people talk about submission, or when you say the word submission, people automatically think of submission as a bad thing. But when you're talking about the Bible and the way that God talks about it, you should submit to your husband just as he should love you and unconditionally love you. Say with my relationship with Carl, I see that Carl loves me. He shows that he loves me in every area of our lives. Like, he adores me, and I see that. So it makes it so much easier to submit to his will for our marriage, submitting to Carl's goals and ambitions that he has in life, and letting him lead. It says in the Bible for husbands to love their wives just as Christ loved the church. And that is major. And it also says for wives to submit to your husbands just as we submit to God. And coming under that Christian covenant, if you are a Christian, this is something that you should understand. And in this society today, so many women want to be independent and not listen to anyone, and to have their own lives and their own money and their own success, and to not let anyone tell them what to do. But when you're in a marriage, that is not the way it should be. I think it's very important to let your husband lead. Men are natural leaders, and God has given them that role to lead the marriage, and then you to come under that and submit to their leadership. And that is not to say that they can sit on the couch all day, every day, and drink beer and watch the football and not do anything or help you or love you or anything. That's not what I'm saying. This needs to be an equal thing. So wives, submit to your husbands, and husbands should love their wives just as Christ loved the church. And if you want to understand what submission actually means and go into a bit more depth, then I will link a video below that I love to live by. There's a few videos by Joyce Meyer that I really like as well, that I'll link below. But yes, submitting to your husbands and letting them lead your marriage is a huge and major thing. But that is all I have for you guys today. I have no idea how long this has gone for or what I've actually spoken about, because my mind is just kind of like everywhere at the moment and I forgot to drink my tea. It's sitting here and now it's cold. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know every single time I post. All my socials will be linked below as well. Also, I don't know if I've actually like formally told you guys, but I'm posting every Tuesday and Friday now. Sometimes it's usually between like 8 AM and 12 PM that I'll post, depending on what I have to edit, etc. But yeah, I'm posting every Tuesday and Friday. Did I say that? Yeah, Tuesday and Friday, which is super exciting. It is quite hard posting twice a week. Even though I don't really do anything, it actually is a huge job posting twice a week and editing and filming and blah blah blah. But I love it, and I love chatting to you guys and letting you guys know about my life. It's been a super exciting journey, and yeah, I hope you guys are actually enjoying my videos. But I appreciate all your support and love so far. You guys are so amazing. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah.